Hey guys, what is going on? I know it's been a long time since I uploaded. It's like it's an ongoing joke, I think, with everything that I just, forget to upload videos. And, what's in my eye? Oh my God, something in my eye. Alright, so I checked out the movie Birdbox. Sorry, extremely thirsty right now. The movie Birdbox. Checked it out. If you haven't seen it, well, it's kind of hard not to spoil anything about Birdbox and still talk about it. So I would just shut off this review and come back when you've seen it. But if you have seen it and you're just seeing what everybody else thought about it, you're looking for an explanation. I don't have an explanation for what the movie was about or anything like that. All I know is my initial thought upon the movie ending, which if you haven't seen it, like I said, last chance, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to ruin it. So turn it off if you haven't seen it. Anyways, the whole thought when the movie ended, I was like, was the whole point of the movie for her to name her children? Because that's what it seemed like at the end of the movie. And I'm like, is it really that big of a deal that she named her children? And the answer was yes. Because I cried at the end of the movie. I know. I've cried at a lot of things, though, so that doesn't mean anything. But I thought it was an emotional moment, and I lost my shit at the end of the movie. Great movie. I don't know. That's my question. Was it a great movie, or was it just an in-the-moment thing? My thoughts was decent movie. Good movie. But is it something you're going to want to rewatch? I think the rewatchability factor of the movie is somewhat, but you're not going to watch it all the time. It's one of those movies kind of like, I think, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, that's a pretty decent kind of, 90s, mid-90s kind of weird horror film. It's good. It's decent. It's not the greatest. And you'll find out who the killer who it was. But you'll still enjoy it the second time around ever so often. This is kind of falls into that realm. And there's a lot of movies. You could probably point a lot of movies like that. Like a lot of the Scream movies are like that. Like you can't watch them constantly. Like you can watch them every once in a while. Most of the Scream movies are pretty slight rewatchable, which means, like I said, you watch them maybe once a year. You can watch them once a year and still be satisfied with the movies, or every couple years. But highly rewatchable, I don't think Bird Box is. So it's not held in high regard for me, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. The actors were pretty good for the most part. There was some people in there that weren't that great. But there was some times, but I mean, in the moment, you kind of don't know how you would act. And it's an interesting concept that, there's something outside that just randomly shows up, and so forth. Now, hopefully we'll get something like an origin story about what happened, or an after story, or maybe another perspective from somebody else. That would be interesting. Now, I think that should be the direction that they go in. If they're going to do anything more with this franchise, will it be called something like Birdbox, semicolon, something else? I would do it that way. Even to rename the original one something else. Maybe if it's based off a book, call it the name of the book, or what in other countries people called that book. Just to separate it from the other ones that they're going to have. But to me, it's worthwhile them maybe going in that direction and seeing another perspective from someone else, that was doing this. It was interesting how people interacted, but also at one point in the movie, you start seeing people that have this in them, and it's kind of working for them. It's kind of weird. Like it doesn't, like they're not suicidal. They almost have something molecular in their bodies that fights the suicidal part, and they just want people to see it. And that's the weird part about the whole thing, is that there's like organized group of these people making sure that these people are going to see it. And the creepiest part of the whole entire movie for me was the guy that pretty much tore the entire, all the people apart. Like in a matter of minutes, everybody was gone. They either killed themselves or he killed them. They saw it and they went outside. They flew through the window. I mean, in a matter of minutes, he turned that thing upside down. And I know who that is. I just can't picture who he is, what his actor name is. But yeah, as far as the movie in a whole, I definitely recommend people check it. If you have not checked out, which I'm kind of late to the party. People already seen it like a month ago. So, sorry, a little late to the dance. But hey, better late than never. That's what a lot of people say. Not me. I usually try to watch things on time, but lately it's not happening. Anyways, but yeah, it took me a while because I just, I thought there's other things I could watch, and I finally watched it a couple days ago, and I'm like, it's about time I watch it. So yeah. Oh, I didn't even get to. Well, I didn't get to the point where I said the creepiest part. The creepiest part was the dude that went after the babies, and he was like, "Give me the children. They must see." And I'm like, "Whoa, where are we going with this? This is creepy." Because I mean, is he like gonna kill the babies? I'm like, "Oh my god!" But then because they're transported back in time. They're going back and forth between the things. They survived. Yeah, it's nuts. And it was like they didn't dwell on things that were boring for very long. They showed that aspect of what would happen in that time. And like when they were arguing about telling stories to the kids that were like far-fetched, like fairy tales. She was like, no, don't do it because they'll never be able to play with other children. And at the end, I was kind of like, kudos to that. Which is really weird because they didn't make mention of it at all. But I swear, that was a blind school. Was it not a blind school that they ended up at the end of the movie? Kind of weird. And it's almost like, but don't the creatures know that they should check it out and see, that if there's anybody inside? I don't know. That's weird. Like I said, maybe there's going to be a sequel. Maybe we're going to find out, like, maybe somebody's going to try and get into the school and they'll make a sequel to it, or they'll make like another perspective. I think one perspective will be interesting is that, and since we know she made it to that place, would be the doctor. That would be another perspective. And even if like they introduce some other characters into the movie, but the hospital would be, kind of cool. I don't know what they would call it, like Birdbox medicine or something like that. It had show what happened in the hospital up until the point where she got to that school. Unless it's not very meaningful, but then they can split it up between different things. They can have where, how the blind school, got to be the place where everybody was going. Because when they got there, they had to do some like weird stuff, like at the door, so they would, verify that they're actually real people and they're not like crazy people trying to make people see shit. Look at it. Look at it. I said look at it. Kind of weird. Anyways, Birdbox. Like I said, good movie. Not the best. Not the worst. Not an average. A little bit better than average. It's there. I recommend you check it out. Would I buy it when it comes out? Because I don't know if it's come out in DVD yet or not. But would I buy it when it comes out? I mean, it might be a possibility. If you're big into kind of creepier movies like that, it may be a possibility. You might want to keep it. Because I mean, the thing about it is half these Netflix movies, who knows what's going to happen to the properties if they end up going away? Like things like the Love Show and Stranger Things. Like what's going to happen to the content? Like I'm assuming somebody will buy the products and the properties if Netflix goes away. But I gotta get going. I gotta get home. The wife is headed to work, and I am watching the baby. And you can't see me, but I'm not John Cena either. But Birdbox, check it out. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you haven't seen it, why the hell are you still watching this video? Second of all, you're dumb, because you just ruined the film for yourself. So if you haven't seen it and you're still watching this, you can come back and say it wasn't that great. The question I'm going to ask you is, did you watch the freaking video first? Because you shouldn't have done that. You ruined the damn movie for yourself. Anyways, leave a comment down below what you thought about the movie. What do you think about Birdbox? Great, awesome, sucks. What do you think? Anyway, comments, suggestions? Should I shave all my body hair off? Probably not. Not on camera, at least. That'd be weird. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. Catch you guys later. Keep rocking and keep on watching Netflix.